What a beautiful sunny Sunday afternoon it is. It's a shame there's a bit of a haze on the horizon, because any other day you'd be able to see friends. So, back to the sewing. Hi, welcome to my vlog Sew Fabricate, and I'm Shirley. If you tuned into my first vlog, I talked about making some things for my new grandbaby and my grandson Rudy, and a few items for myself. I've made a couple of items for myself. I intended to make a shirt, blouse, but I partly ran out of time. And if I'm really honest, I was enjoying making the baby things more than I was making stuff for myself. It's not so much that I'm not feeling it, it's that sort of, we're not going out because of you know what, and the weather hasn't been quite right, although the last few days with the sunshine, I did change my ideas about what I was going to sew for myself. So, without further ado, and with a little bit less waffling, let's get on with it. Sorry about the shake, I just hit the table and I've got you perched on sewing boxes just to get the right height. Right, first thing, not that interesting from a sewing point of view, but cute anyway. I'm not going to stretch it all out because I haven't got arms long enough. But I have, let me get untwisted, made some bunting for the Bubba's Nursery, and the fabric I mentioned last time came from Higgs and Higgs, all of it, the spotties and the stars and the sort of jungle animals, which is the theme of the nursery, and it's so cute because there's sloths on there and birds, there's a toucan, and I think somewhere there's a monkey. I know there's a monkey. Oh, there's a little lion. Monkey must be the other end. Let's have a look. There we go. It was all in the hoop embroidery on my machine, which was pretty easy to do. And then the back is just plain, but with a coordinating spotty fabric. And the greys, there's a little bit of grey in the nursery. I think it's quite a sort of trendy colours at the moment, I think, for nurseries, with whites, the nicer softer greys with a splash of colour and proper colour, because I've never been into pastels for babies. So that's that. I know that some of you might not be that interested in that, but if you are interested in machine embroidery and in the hoop embroidery, it's a nice little project to do. The second thing I did for the Bubba, I done this for my granddaughter from my girl, because my grandson is my boy's. I always do a soft toy, and I know that some of you that are watching this for dressmaking will think, what's a soft toy got to do with dressmaking? Not a lot, but it's a great way of scrap stash busting if you've got ½ meters of fabric. And even if you haven't got grandchildren or children of your own, I'm sure that you must know someone that has Bubbas, or you might be an auntie or an uncle if you're a man watching, or like me for the longest time, without having little ones around, I was, well, apart from having work kids, I had a work son and I had a work daughter, and they eventually had children of their own, and I became work grandma, so any excuse to make something for a little one, that's me. But making a soft toy, apart from being a really lovely gift to give to someone, is that it's actually quite good for honing your dressmaking skills as well as scrap busting, because you've got all the little tight roundy corners and bends. It's a good one for I mean, they're not the most perfect of darts, but it's a good one for practicing your darts. And a little bit of hand stitching where you stitch it up at the back. So a good one, and as you can see, I've personalised it. The heart's I've hand embroidered that on with a blanket stitch, but the Rudy is done by machine, but the nose is hand embroidered and a satin stitch. I tend to do it before it's sewn up because it's so much easier, because I can put it in the hoop, and then what I do is when it's actually sewn together, if there's any little gaps, I'll hand fill those in. Felt ties, blanket stitched on. And that one, it's quite an old pattern now. Where are you? There we go. I showed this before. It's the Simplicity 8044, and I thought I was making the bunny rabbit, which is the top one, but I'd forgotten long ago that I'd cut out. Where's my brain? I'd cut out a spaniel, because we are a family of Cocker Spaniels and have been for nearly 20 years now. So that's for little Rudy. I think I might have overstuffed his ears a little bit, but there you go. But then getting on to sort of closey things, but still for baby. This was really fun to make. I'll put the details down below. It's a bucket hat. It's supposed to be reversible, although I did just catch it on the top stitching when I was top stitching, but it's not bad. It's still doable, but there you go. That's it. I'm moving that around a lot, aren't I? There you go. Little label. But to see what it's like on. Oh, this is so cute. There you go. Ready for a Brisbane beach, which is where they live. Not on the beach, but in Brisbane, quite near to the sea. And that's that. I'm really pleased with that. A really nice make. Really nice make. And then I've got two more things for the baby. They're both the same but different. Two different colours. This was from an Etsy seller. Pluto Patterns. Again, a nice make. This goes up to 3 years. So actually quite a nice little dungaree as the little one gets older. There's the two options look the same, and they are, except for one, option B has the lining, which I opted to do for two reasons. One, I can't be, especially on something this small, I can't be faffed with doing a bias ending, and both of them have got machine embroidery on them. You can see the different colours, and this is what they look like. There's no popper fastening because it's just literally a pull on tie top, and then little feeties, but I will put some pictures in. And it's the same for this one, but obviously that's the little turtle, and the cats. They are cat lovers. They have 3. I can't remember if they're all rescues or some of them are rescues. I can't remember. But the reason apart from the faffing of not wanting to do binding, I opted for the lining because although I use, it's a tearaway stabiliser for the machine embroidery. If this was going to be a t-shirt, then I'd put, there's a soft stabiliser that's specially, well, it's so that you don't get the scratchiness of the stitches, but this is a double whammy because I've got the lining. That's so cute, and it's beautiful double gauze. Why did I say double gauze twice? Anyway, there you go. That's that. I'm so professional. Not. And then lastly, this is going to be quite a quick vlog at this rate. Lastly, on my twos, this fabric I've had for the longest time about, well, whenever the British Sewing Bee was on at the Excel. I know it was a September time. I think it was the same year I retired, so it'll be coming up for 5 years this year, I think. Any of you that are retired just know how time just seems to whiz by. Anyway, I bought this fabric. It's a Liberty and it's a cotton lawn, and I really liked it when I bought it, and it was a bargain, so that's even better. But I wasn't sure about the colours because it's sort of beiges and creams, and being fair, they can sort of wash me out. And I'd already said that I was going to make a corduroy blouse last month, and I just wasn't feeling it because I was thinking it's getting a bit warm for a corduroy blouse, and it's sunny and warm weather's coming soon. So I wanted to make something a little bit summery, and I didn't want to, not so much that this is a waste at all, but it was, if I didn't like it, then it wouldn't be such a loss. I've used a fabric that's been in my stash for ages and ages and ages, doing nothing. As it turns out, when I was making it up, I thought, oh, this is really, really pretty. I was falling. Do you do that? Do you decide you want to make something, you're not quite sure of the fabric, or you're not sure of the pattern, and you think, oh, I'll use this fabric because I've had it ages, I can't be that in love with it because it's been in my stash for the longest time. And then you're going to start making it up and you think, why has it been sitting there for the longest time and I could have been wearing it made up of something? Well, this is that. I'm not sure. I'm going to insert some photos. Sadly, they're on the dummy, not me, because my chief photographer this afternoon was out walking the dogs when I decided to set up and start doing this. But it's the, oh, where are we? I was going to be so organised. It's the Maven Wendy Smock top, which you could, if you wanted, extend down and make into a dress. There are 3 options. That one's just got a clean front, and then the other options are a tie front, a tie to the side on the raglan, and then pockets. I opted not to do the pockets, partly because I just couldn't be faffed. I have done this top before, sort of slightly shortening it and putting some shearing along the middle, but it was just a little bit too short for my comfort zone with regards to showing my tummy. But it looks quite pretty underneath a pinafore. The sort of gypsy style top actually looks quite pretty under a pinafore. Anyway, that's that. So without further ado, this is that. Now, funnily enough, and I think the reason I got this out was because I saw Alex Judge either this week or last week, or within the last 2 weeks. I think she'd made a shirt out of the very same fabric, and it looked lovely on her. But she's got the colouring, and these are a little bit brighter. They're sort of like a rusty red, and it really picked up the colour of her hair, and it looked really, really nice. And because she's a redhead, her skin tone is different to mine, so she can get away with browns and beiges, but it looked really nice, and I think that's what spurred me to dig out this fabric. My tongue and my mouth are not working today, so I opted for the tie front, and then you've got 3/4 length sleeves, which are just hemmed and then channeled with a little bit of elastic. Now, the reason I'm not sure about this is if I just take it off the hanger, it's not as good as wearing it. I get too hot and bothered with changing. I can't be doing with it. If I did that, my hair would be all wet through. The joys of you know what. Tropical power surges. Anyway, that's how it looks, and it's actually really pretty. But I think because of my age and sort of I've got rounded rather than having bony shoulders as I did as a youth, I think it looks a little bit mummsy. But that said, I think underneath, for knocking about in the summer, nice light cotton lawn, fabulous for those tropical moments, and pretty under a plain light denim chambray type pinafore. I've made a couple of Merchants and Mills pinafores, which that would look nice under. And then lastly, where are we? I'm getting a bit of a pile of hangers here. Here we go. Oh, love this, absolutely love this. This, I showed you this before, I think. This is one of my tried and trues. I've made the dress. I've made cotton tops using the bodice, and then just put in, no, that actually hasn't got it. It looks like it's got a band. It hasn't. It's just a double layer of fabric where you've got the seams and the fabric allowance. That's actually a seam, and then it's the fabric down. But I've then done a shortened version and used that as a peplum because I think everything of mine's got a peplum, but it's really good at covering a tummy, but without having to wear a big, you know, sort of top that comes out from the sort of shoulders down. And I think that's what's making me feel uncomfortable about that. It's coming out from the shoulders down, and with the boobies it's just sticking out. I think Tess, my best friend in the States, my oldest best friend in the States, would call them a moo-moo. I'm sure you're going to be laughing at that now, Tess, because I know you'll be watching. She's going to be the only one watching, I think. No, it's actually been really nice because I'm surprised that I've had a few viewers and I've had some lovely comments. So thank you very much, ladies. Now, actually, no, why am I taking it off hanger? This. Oh, I showed you this fabric last time. It's so pretty. How's that for being bright and cheerful? It's a very lightweight French terry. I was thinking of making it more, before I got this arrived, I was going to make a more of a jumpery type top, but when I realised how thin it was, I thought this will be ideal for spring and autumn and those cooler summer days, especially in the evening when it does get cold as soon as the sun goes down. Take your breath, Shirley. So this body, the block on this particular body, it's the only one that's ever fitted me nicely without having to do any adjustments. Well, that's a tiny lie. I should really take in the shoulder a tiny bit, because I've got good shoulders in so much as they stick out, but they're very little. So things do, because my frame is small. The outside, the padding might be not so small these days, but the frame is still small. So it does just fall off the shoulders a little bit, but when it's something like this, I don't think it matters so much. So I've not sized, even though it's a knit, I've not sized, and it's got spandex, so it's got good stretch. I haven't sized down with this. The reason being is that on those, now I hope this is going to make sense, on those warmer, cooler days when you don't need to wear anything underneath except for maybe a cami vest, perfectamondo, nice and loose, airflow. On a cooler spring day, when you might want to wear either a t-shirt or a blouse underneath it, you've still got enough distance between the layers, so this is not going to be tight over the top, but it's not oversized. I'm going to have to get some pictures of me in it, not the dummy, although the dummy, she does have a bra and she's all nicely padded out, so she is my size. So you get an idea of what she'd look like on a real body with that. There's no point in having a dummy if she doesn't fit. Anyway, this is gorgeous. I'm so pleased. So it's the pattern, as you can see, is just a crew neck top. So what I did was measured, did my I always go with 75%, but cut 80% first, and then measure around, cut 80%, and then if it's a little bit too big I can always take it off as I'm pinning round. But that's it. It's my lovely top, and it's got the peplum. But it's just nice because it's why I like this shape. And ladies, if you're like me, and it doesn't matter, you don't have to be an old fart like me, but if you're a bit booby, if you're a little bit tummy-fied, or even if you're not tummy-fied, I know it's like when I was younger, I didn't have a tummy, but those times, you know, when it comes out, I don't have those anymore. I've still got the tummy, I just don't have those times of the month anymore to make it come out. Anyway, the straightest shape, but it's not wide, just coming down now, nicely down the sides, just a little bit loose, just skims, and then the little peplum, providing it's not too thick a fabric. If that had been a thicker fabric and I decided I wanted to do the same treatment, I'd pleat it, because then you don't have the bulk. But the peplum just stops it being a straight down shape, which can just be a bit, you want a bit of something. So that's that. So that's my sews. I hope I've not sent you to sleep. Whilst I'm still here, I want to give a shout out for hashtag Frugal Frocks 2021. It's a challenge being run on Instagram by Sam from Frugalissima and Ruan from Yorkshire Sew Girl. Every day a vlogger is making a video explaining the whys and wherefores of the challenge. There's also details of the challenge on Instagram if you hashtag that, and essentially the vlogs are going to run right through to the end of March. I'm the penultimate one, I think it's the 28th of March, so that gives me 3 days to, well, I won't be making it at the end of March, but essentially it's a challenge about making a frock at the end of March, by the end of March, posting on Instagram. I should put a card up with all the YouTubers, should you have not seen any yet, or if you're looking to see who's going to be coming on, again, it's on that card. And it's open to everyone. It's not just for YouTube bloggers. It's for anyone that sews, new sewer, old sewer, anyone that sews. Details are on Instagram under hashtag Frugal Frocks 2021. That's all I'm going to say about it now, because there's other people that are going to do their vlogs about it, and then I'll be doing mine at the end of the month. So I'll speak to you soon. You take care now. It's Sunday evening. I can hear my husband cooking tea. We've got enchiladas for tea tonight with ribs. Yum, 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 yum. So, that's no good for the tummy, is it? So, I love you and leave you. Take care now. See you soon. Bye.